Well, I'm back, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. I super appreciate it. This week, it's the season finale, and I apologize that this has taken so long for me to have gotten the season finale done for you guys, but man, it's just been a crazy couple weeks, just been focused on the Let's Plays, and I've got a schedule now that should help us so that now we can start doing reviews on a regular basis again. But we're going to be looking at my second favorite Switch game of all time, and one of my favorite Zelda games of all time, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Now, this game was super good on the Game Boy, but is it better on the Nintendo Switch? Let's find out. Here's the intro. Our story begins after the events of A Link to the Past. An anime-esque Link is taking a journey on the seas. During his travels, he runs into a scary rainstorm on the seas and crash lands on a place called Collant Island. Link is taken in by locals named Malin and Talon. Link jumps out of bed and into action to find his missing sword. And during this, he discovers that the island and dungeons have been filled up with monsters. And after getting through the first dungeon, Link discovers that the island has a legend that upon collecting all the instruments, the Ballad of the Windfish will play and the Windfish will awake. And during getting the sixth one, Link gets to the Face Shrine and finds out that if he were to awaken the Windfish, the island will disappear. That conflict is still in mind. Link decides to get the remaining instruments and play the Ballad of the Windfish. Link goes into the egg at the top of the mountain, and then Link defeats it and the island disappears, with Link looking up to the sky and seeing Malin one last time before the game ends with the credits rolling. Okay, for how simplistic this story is, it's pretty incredible. Honestly, it's amazing. Link's Awakening has a really good charm to it and excellent characters that you'll really grow to like in this game. I didn't mention them too much because there isn't too many interactions you'll have, but I did fall in love with this place. Now here's the thing I like a lot about Link's Awakening that I don't really see a lot of games do. It puts a moral dilemma. Do I save the island essentially and make it disappear by collecting all the instruments? Or do I decide to just let it go, let the monsters run free, and the people that I enjoy being around stay alive? Honestly, it just makes for an incredible story, and it's actually honestly kind of brilliant. Story-wise, I mean, it's typical for a Zelda game as far as like not having Zelda in it at all. But it is one of the best in the series, has a really good plot twist, and has a ton of different things about it that has going for it, and it's super unique. But how about the gameplay? Does it really compare to what the story does? Well, just as good, yes. I agree the gameplay is awesome, and definitely one of the best in the series gameplay-wise. In this game, it's structured slightly like a watered-down version of A Link to the Past. This game on the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color were kind of dumb because it went back to the OG Zelda games and made it basically so that two buttons handled all of your weapons and items, such as your sword and shield, and I'm not a fan of this at all. And even those who love the Game Boy Color game in the series, this is a fix that is much better to me. They made it that you're always carrying your sword and shield, and made it that certain items that you put in the two slots are the items that you'll use, and it makes it so much more bearable as I'm not constantly having to go through menus in this game. You have your standard equipment in this game: a sword, shield, arrows, a hookshot, the works. You have other abilities such as a bracelet that gives you more strength, the Roc's Feather which helps you to jump in the air, and the Pegasus Boots which makes you run super fast, and I mean super fast, and helps you in conjunction with the Roc's Feather to help you jump across gaps you couldn't normally reach. And all the items in this game are great, and they make for some interesting boss fights in this game, and combat combinations that you would not normally see in other Zelda games. Speaking of bosses, they are so enjoyable. I really like the third to last boss because you fight him from a different perspective, which is quite amazing to me. And it literally just shows the uniqueness of this top-down Zelda game and why it's different than other top-down Zelda games, or 2D Zelda games, which to me accentuates how great of a Zelda game it is, and why it's in my top 5 favorite Zelda games of all time. And the bosses, albeit super easy, are super unique in their own special ways, and the dungeons holding the bosses are just simply incredible. They really stand out over other games in the series. The best one to me is being the Cat's Maw. I'm usually the first to admit that I love water dungeons, but this one is my favorite water dungeon in the entire series. Not only is it kind of your first challenge of the game, but it really makes a strong case of the best water dungeon in the series. And the thing is, most of these dungeons do require some thinking, but I'm not gonna lie, some of them have the funnest challenges in Zelda history and are just super satisfying to finish. The control in this game, just simply put, is perfect. Combining the easy to pick up controls along with a great design, this gameplay is simply stunning and makes the OG games look OG, honestly. The final thing is the graphics, and we really need to go into how amazing they are. This to me is the best looking game on the Switch, and it's easy because every detail on every tree and every rock and every character is so detailed in every way, as I feel like this game was taken care of with so much care graphically, and it just stands out on its own as being one of the best looking Zelda games in the series, bar none. The music and sounds of this game are awesome. I love the cartoony voices in this game. They add so much flavor that is so rock solid to an already solid game. And the soundtrack is got an actual orchestra in here. Get out of here. It's just simply amazing. And I have to preface one thing. I love the mini games in this game. Yes, even the fishing, and they really make use of the mechanics of the original games, but then enhances them for the gameplay. For this game, the gameplay is simply perfect, and I love it so much. One thing I mentioned with the gameplay, there is the little dungeon maker thing. I think it's cool, but I think it's really simplistic in design. I'm hoping at some point, maybe, way down the line, we get some sort of Zelda dungeon maker, kind of like Mario Maker. But I don't see that happening anytime soon, so... well, let's give this a try, shall we? So how do I conclude this review? The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening on the Switch to me is one of the top best, if not the best Switch game of all time, but best video games ever made. From the stellar gameplay, graphics, and music, I don't know, man. This game just, it gets my horsey going! Thank you all so much for watching Season 6. I'm sorry it took basically 2 years to do. Next season should be a lot more. I already have 3.5 scripts written. I'm going to start working on Tuesdays and Fridays to get these videos out to you guys. And we'll just keep going from there. I have a special surprise for Season 6. It's going to be freaking awesome. Take care, everybody. Have a good day.